She was a New York University graduate, but she worked as a nanny for a wealthy family. However, she always avoided the mistress of the house because the rich woman's behavior was simply too strange.
Nanny, this is yours, is it not?
Annie looked confused. Mrs. X said she found it in the laundry basket.
It is not mine. It is not Mr. X's, so it has to be yours, right? Right?
The woman threw the slip dress at Annie, telling her not to leave things lying around again. Seeing the self-deceptive expression on Mrs. X's face, Annie understood the secret. She had no choice but to accept the underwear that didn't belong to her. However, the next day, she encountered something even more outrageous. Annie was preparing breakfast in the kitchen when Mr. X, who had woken up early, made a pass at her. Annie was startled, but this scene was witnessed by Mrs. X. Annie hurriedly fled, going to a phone booth to call her boyfriend, but no one answered the phone. When she returned, Mrs. X told her,
Mr. X has arranged for a taxi to take you to the ferry and then for a car to pick you up on the other end.
Please don't do this. Not for me, but for Grayer. Not until you and your husband work your problems out.
Don't you dare! You stupid girl. As if you know anything about my life. As if you know anything about the real world.
In the end, Annie was still fired. Mrs. X paid her last month's salary. Gray saw Annie leaving and chased after her like a madman. Although Annie was reluctant to leave, but she could only accept her fate. She opened the envelope and found that Mrs. X had only given her $20. Annie was furious. Remembering the months of hard work she had put in, she angrily returned to the mansion. She found a nanny camera and unleashed a torrent of insults at the lens. Soon after, at a lecture on nanny disputes, Mrs. X portrayed Annie as completely irresponsible and a seductive temptress who hooked up with men. Then she handed the surveillance footage to the host, wanting everyone to see Annie's true nature. But when the video was played, everyone was shocked.
Going to a spa when your son has a fever of 104 and not answering emergency calls, that officially makes you an unfit mother.
This is outrageous. Stop the tape.
No, this is clearly a disgruntled nanny. We might have something to learn here.
Annie was seen cursing at the group of wealthy women, accusing them of preferring to sit there for 3 hours, rather than spending 30 minutes with their children.
Grayer loves you. He doesn't care what you're wearing or what you buy him or what school he gets into. He just wants you there. That's it. Time's running out. He won't love you unconditionally that much longer, so for your own good, don't miss out on getting to know him.
Annie's words were a wake-up call from Mrs. X. She got up and left the lecture. After resigning, Annie found a new direction in life. She decided to continue her studies. At this time, Mrs. X sent an apology letter through her boyfriend. It contained her sincere apologies and gratitude to Annie. She and her husband had divorced, and she had started living alone with Greer. Now she would dedicate enough time to be with her son as he grew up. A few years later, Annie finally completed her studies and found both a successful career and love.